New Super Mario Bros. U is a game, while not as good as New Super Mario Bros. Wii, at least in my opinion, is still a pretty fun Mario game. I mean, it's a Mario. You run, you jump some more. You jump a lot, actually. Like a lot. Lots of jumping involved. And that jumping is fun. But what if we remove that jump button entirely? How would you gain any movement vertically? Well, you always have other options. That's right, the spin jump. The spin jump is really not nearly as good as the regular jump, but it's something. It can get the job done, but only in the smallest of situations. It's not very good. However, once you get that acorn suit, oh, it's a different story. You can jump super high and give yourself a little boost as well. So, with the acorn suit, it seems like spin jumping might actually be a viable method for moving around instead of jumping. So what if we only did spin jumps? This is Ready Dude, and in a celebration of my 50th sub, I'm going to be remaking an older series of videos about this kind of concept. This is the new Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe Spin Jump Challenge. So while Peach is in the process of getting kidnapped by Bowser, let's explain the rules. So anything on the world map is totally fine. All buttons can be pressed there, and the same goes for menus. However, while in an actual level, the B button or the A button is not allowed in any way. This includes wall jumps, swimming, and jumping on enemies to gain heights, all of that. And even gliding with the acorn suits isn't either. Okay, so here's the plan. We're going to start going to 1-1 and then 1-2. From there, we're going to unlock the secret exit in 1-2 so that we can unlock the water level, the secret water level in World 1, which would take us to the path of World 5. However, because we're not allowed to use the B button in levels, we are not allowed to swim in the water level, which isn't good. So, how are we going to be able to swim? Well, pink baby Yoshis allow you to swim by holding them just by holding that direction. And by trying to spin in the water while holding a baby Yoshi, you can even do an extra boost. So we need these baby Yoshis. Where can we find one? Well, the first one is right after the tower. So if we can beat 1-2 normally, and then the tower level in 1-3, we can get our baby Yoshi and go back to the water level to get to World 5. From there, we can get the secret exit in World 5, probably taking 5-2 because it's just a better level and there's no brambles. We can go to the ghost house and get the secret exit. And from there, we go to World 7, and we get the secret exit in that world's ghost house. And from there, we can go to World 8, getting the secret exit in 8-1, so that we can more quickly get to the final level of the game. We begin with level 1-1. This is the easiest level of the challenge and is one of the only levels that does not require the acorn suit to complete. However, this level does give us access to the acorn suit, which is what actually makes this challenge possible in the first place. Expect to be replaying this level a lot anytime you take damage, because without that acorn suit, most of the game will be impossible. The fact that 1-2 is the second level, which means difficulty progression, isn't the reason why it's hard. The reason why it's hard is because of the cramped parts of the level, in which our acorn suit makes us jump too high, and we might end up just going straight into a Goomba. And since we can't really beat the level without the acorn suit, we need to go through this damage list in the tiny cramped spaces. You have to take things slowly, because if you jump into a roof and immediately hit a Goomba, you won't be able to leave through the menu if you haven't beaten the level yet, leaving no choice but to run into a piranha plant so you can go back to 1-1. We also have to take both exits. We first have to take the secret exit, and then we have to take the normal exit so we can make our way towards the baby Yoshi required for us to get past the water level and the secret exit. The tower levels, such as the first one, Crushing Cog's Tower, is completely focused on verticality, going up. So of course this level is extremely impossible without the acorn suit. You can't kill the dry bones either, because that would require an ice flower, which we can't get because then we can't use our acorn suit. In fact, sometimes jumping high is an issue, and we might just go right into an enemy or right into a cog that immediately crushes us. That actually happened once, and I had to go back to 1-1 in order to get an acorn suit again. The boss isn't that difficult though. You just jump on him 3 times, and as soon as you jump on him the first time, you could just wait for him to get up and then immediately jump on him after. So, easy. So, we finished the tower and... Oh, hey look. That's convenient. Anyway, we go to 1-3, and here's where we learn that Yoshis, even though this is the one level that we will see them, are completely useless because you can't use the B button at all in levels, right? That includes flutter jumping while on a Yoshi, and the only thing we can do on them is eat and do a tiny little backflip off of them that gives us no height. The level's also full of Monty moles, like full of them. There's so many, and I had a lot of close calls with some evasive maneuvers to avoid the Monty moles, and I just had an army of them following me. It was funny, but it was also terrifying because I did not want to lose my acorn suit. Well, now that that's over, we finally got to the Baby Yoshi and can now do the water level. It's easy with the Baby Yoshi. I mean, come on. You can swim in any direction, give yourself a boost by trying to spin underwater, and can even eat enemies in front of you. However, if you let go of that Baby Yoshi, oh, it's over. It is over. And if you get trapped in a specific spot where you can't die, you will have to actually delete your save file and start the whole challenge all over again. Definitely didn't happen to me or anything. But besides that, the level's extremely easy with the Baby Yoshi, so we can finally move on to World 5. We begin with 5-1, and thanks to the Baby Yoshi, we could just fly over everything. Makes the level super easy. You might want to hold on to this Baby Yoshi as long as possible, because it could be a big help in many of the levels coming up ahead. And thanks to the Baby Yoshi, 5-2 is also very easy, because once again, you could just fly over everything. Makes these levels very easy. Unfortunately, the next level will not have this luxury. The snake block tower is very difficult because the snake block constantly diverges and just psychs you. You think it's gonna go to the right? Nah, it's gonna go to the left. Ha ha, now you run right into a pendulum or an amp. I mean, either way, you're losing your power up. Some parts of the level, specific parts, can actually be done without the acorn suit. And when I had taken damage on one of the attempts, I had made it to the checkpoint, and then I died. However, luckily, remember what I had in my inventory before? I could just use the acorn suit that I had while still starting from the checkpoint, which was just so fantastic. And with that, I was actually able to beat the level and fight Boom Boom again. This time, Boom Boom is big. That's so spooky. Ooh. Spooky. Anyways, I just jump on his head 3 times. Easy. This level can be very short and easy if you know the way to go. It's simple. Basically, just go to the leftmost door, go up the lift, maybe lose your pink Baby Yoshi along the way, rest in peace, and then keep standing on the lift instead of going through the door while hugging the left wall. Then you'll go into a secret compartment above the roof and just follow the path from there to get to the secret exit. From here, we can go to the World 5's secret level. Flight of the Parabeetles is definitely a very hard level. You have to be super accurate with your jumps, especially when you're jumping on the tiny Parabeetles. Not only that, but the section with the King Bills gives me anxiety. I don't like them. They're too big. They take up the whole screen. The fact that I beat this in my first try actually shocked me. Like, it was really unexpected. I was thinking I'd take a couple tries to beat this level, considering how hard it is, even without the spin jump challenge. But I did get to beat it on my first try, so that's nice. But I think this level is going to give me PTSD, just like how 9-7 has in New Super Mario Bros. Wii. 7-1 isn't that bad. You're riding on a cloud that moves on its own. There are lots of jumps with the moving bricks that do require the acorn suit, but I've actually taken damage at one point right before a safe spot. Using some big brain skills of mine, I actually got an acorn suit from a question block, which means I was able to continue the level on that attempt. So, the level's not that bad. Just watch out for all those piranha plants. You gotta sneak past them and if you don't want to take damage. On the split path, I chose Switchback Hill, and even though the stage is a literal bullet hell, haha, get it? It wasn't that bad. I had to keep moving the whole time, sure, but these bullets definitely motivated me. Besides that, the level is pretty fine, and I guess we can move on then to the next tower. It's not a good sign one of the first things you see after entering the level is a fire bro. Slide Lift Tower in World 7 is one of the hardest levels in this challenge. There's so many moving platforms that want to crush you, and fire bros everywhere. You cannot escape their fireballs. They're very hard to dodge, especially the fact that the acorn suit's boost has you slowly fall to the ground after using it, which with no way to speed up the fall or slow down the fall besides a ground pound, which means that you really cannot dodge these fireballs very well, especially this one right here. You had no idea how many times I had died at this moment just because of the timing being so horrible in this part of the stage. But don't worry, the boss was easy. In the ghost house, we go straight for the secret exit, and from there we can go to Ludwig's castle. There's lots of crushers everywhere, and some big boy bros with hammers. But we can avoid these sludge bros, and then punch Ludwig in the face really hard. We then get taken onto the airship. This is a long and hard level, and the hand crashing down on us is not cool. Hand, please stop. Oh, you're not gonna stop? Dang. Okay. So, then we punch Bowser Jr. in the face, that too. But, unlike the last two levels, the airship is actually really hard. Except for the part where you have to control left right tilt in the controller. That is extremely easy and has no challenge at all. I think one reason why 8-1 is pretty hard in this challenge is because we jump very high and these fireballs are raining down from the top of the screen. Do you see the problem here? Besides the fact that it's very hard to predict if a fireball will immediately hit our head as soon as we jump, this level isn't that hard to get its secret exit. The issue with Firefall Cliffs is the same one as in 8-1. The only difference is a lot of the levels actually under a roof, making this problem not as bad. However, there's no jumping of any kind and climbing on those rock walls. So, once you get on one, the only way to get off is to get to the top and then slowly shuffle over to regular ground, which sometimes is impossible or is extremely dangerous. So, be very careful when you're going on the rock climbing wall in this stage. Red Hot Elevator Ride is the only level besides 1-1 that basically barely requires the acorn suit. In fact, I took damage with it very early on, and I somehow survived. It actually isn't that hard, and the focus is just on jumping on enemies and knocking them off your small platform while tilting it around with the controller. So, this level isn't really affected by this challenge, which means that I could clear it. Not too many troubles here. Now, let's begin the finale. After running past Bowser Jr., it's time for the final fight with Bowser. Phase 1 is extremely easy. If you have the acorn suit, jump over him. If you don't, you can run under him. The reason I say this is because by this point, you don't even need the acorn suit. You do need to run past Bowser Jr. at the beginning, but not once you get to Bowser. So if you take damage from Bowser's fireballs before actually getting to him, that's totally fine. Now that we're past phase 1, it's time for the real fight. Bowser's a big boy, and with Bowser Jr. helping him too. You really have to dodge all of his attacks here, which is hard when he spews a bunch of fireballs at us and we jump too high and run straight into one, you know? We get into Bowser Jr.'s clown car, and, well, what do you know? We don't actually have to press the B button. That just gives us a boost upwards. But if we actually want to hit Bowser, we just need to press the R, or the spin button. That's nice. So we hit Bowser, and we have to dodge him, and it's hard, and I may or may not have died. Whoops. And then we do it again. But this fight really was intense and difficult to do. Like that, Bowser's gone. We won. We saved the princess, but I think Mario's a bit too dizzy from all that spinning to actually care. This is gonna end our video. Thank you so much for getting me to 50 subscribers. Even though while I was editing this video, someone unsubscribed. Oh no. Please subscribe. I need to get back to 50, and maybe I can go past that. That would be great too. So if you enjoyed this video and you like the stuff on my channel, make sure to subscribe, please. That would be great. You'd be doing me a huge favor. And you could be like that one guy who unsubscribed. You can always change your mind and unsubscribe later. I'll be a bit upset, but I won't come to your house and knock on your door and say, hey, subscribe. I won't do that to you. Yet. So, I guess thank you all for watching this remake of an old challenge that I did over 2 years ago. And, goodbye, peoples.